What's up? What's up, everybody out there in the YouTube uh, land listening to our channel tonight? We appreciate you stopping through. You know what this platform is all about. It's all about the urban aspect and what it is that we are so inclined to be paying attention to. One of the things we like to do on our spare time is watch this here. You already know. Well, is it this way? Yeah, it's that way. Power. Man, I was watching it the other night and I just said, you know what? And I watched the little follow-ups, with the guy that was hosting the more or less the Power Sit Down and Talk About It type show platform. I'm like, it would be so cool if they would let us, the real people that really, really follow this, follow this platform, this show, this series, to be able to just, man, chime in on, man, what's going on. They were, all the stars and the hosts and all that, they were all chiming up. But man, I felt like I had something to say. I mean, I had something to say, really, to be honest with you, the last week, because it was really some tragic it was a tragic episode to me. You know, I'm a big Keisha fan. I mean, who wouldn't be? I mean, anybody know who Keisha is? That's Lala. And oh my God, she was something to be looking at. But that's another story. But I'm checking her out, like, and the last thing I thought was gonna happen to her was that she was gonna get murked in the end by Tasha. And it's like, oh wow, and I'm like, I get it. These people are you know, fighting for their lives, fighting for, to be able to survive and trying to keep little man Tyreek out of jail and off the this the field of visibility, because they really trying to use him as leverage to get inside of the organization, and we all know what happened to Lala, and she took one to the dome and she went home. Oh my God, But with that being said, that led us here to the next episode, which is supposedly the mid-season finale. And I'm like, okay, that's cool if that's what it is, and whatnot. There's been a lot of talk with 50 and some of the politics that's going on with the not just only his show, but also the to have stars on it's Xfinity, and people need to get that straight. It ain't just Power. I mean, that would be an outrage, because it wouldn't make no sense, because everybody and their mom knows that, there'd be some, like, well, it must be some racial tones to this or something like that. They don't want to see. No, it ain't that. It's not that. It's bigger than that. It's the whole Stars platform, as far as being a part of Xfinity, and they're trying to drop it. They do that a lot. I mean, if you like me, you get into some things where, and I like sports adamantly. You know what I mean? And sometimes you find out some of these services don't offer ESPN. And I'm like, man, I'm a streamer. I'm like, I like to be on the move. I work, I drive for a living, all this stuff. I want to watch the game while I'm on the move. And now I'm finding myself fumbling through all these apps trying to get on board with some of these games that's coming on the NFL and whatnot. And I'm like, what? You guys don't have ESPN? And it's just like, really just, one after another. They have, some have this and some have that. Well, that's where Xfinity is going with Stars. And it's like, it's bad for the Power people and 50, but I mean, let's face it, 50 and them gonna find the land there. We hope they gonna land somewhere. I mean, if they was on Netflix, I'd watch them right there. It wouldn't matter, because the show is very interesting. It's very intriguing. And we all, really, really like what the show is bringing. So currently, we've got a lot of things going on. as you know, at the end of the episode, our guy took one, which was very, very, uh, I don't know. To me, it's like, is this the end of the series? Because I don't see how we could possibly go on without that being a factor. We all want to see Ghost, and I mean, let's face it, ain't ain't we cheering for Ghost? I'm kind of cheering for Ghost. I mean, I want him to, live the what we call the baller's dream. The baller's dream. It's to get out of the game. It's to get out of the, it's to somehow or another, you know, get out without getting your self locked up, put in prison, whatever, and that's what makes Ghost so interesting because he has the potential to do that. I mean, he has the smarts and he has the know-how and the means. He's got the street sense along with the business ethic to be able to, maybe be one of those guys that get, can get a hold of the baller's dream. And of course, everybody in the series, which makes good writing, which makes good material for us to watch. It's like everybody on the screen is hating on Ghost. And it's just so sad. It's like, I don't see how he's going to be able to pull it off with everybody working with him. Who's working with him? Well, that's a good question. So, first of all, I believe I got a phone number here for you guys to call, just in case anybody might want to chime in and be able to give me their opinion of what's going on. Give me a second here so I can dig it up and put it up on the screen for you. Just give me 1 second. And we will put it up there because I want people to chime in. That's what this is all about. This is all about people chiming in and giving me their version, because I have a version which I'm saving right now, but it's like, I just want to make sure that everybody gets theirs in first, because it really, really is, it's intriguing, man. You know what I'm saying? Now it's a whodunit. It's a whodunit in the end. And, that's what makes it interesting viewing. We want to know, ultimately, in the way the writers put it together. Shout outs to the writers for making it, a whodunit at the end. It's kind of like the old J.R. Ewing, who shot J.R. and all of that stuff. I mean, it's kind of looking like, they're following, a recipe for success. But, we're all cheering for Ghost, to be the man that elevates himself, with some growth and some development and gets out the game. But it's safe to say that Ghost has not got out of it completely, and he does have some stains on his shirt. And with that being said, we know what happened to his daughter. That was a bad look. We already know what happened to his son. His son is he might as well be no longer his son. Now, this is something I want to tell y'all, okay? Let me ask you something. If that was your son, wouldn't you be done already done? I mean, he ain't did it yet. Maybe because it's for TV or whatnot. But it's like, why ain't you smack the shit out that nigga? The nigga that had somebody come in your house, set you up, warned everybody every time they was trying to make a move, you was trying to make a move on them, and all of the things that you so-called are doing, he wants nothing to do with. Not one part of it. And, excuse me, I think I have a mic issue here. Hold on a second, a little bit. See if I can get that connection right. Okay, there we go. 1 second. Jackson, can you hear me? All right. So, it's like, Why bust your ass, risk your life, and try to build a legacy for somebody that does not respect, does not show any love, and ultimately act like I mean, the way it's rolled out, like he's gonna be one of the ones that might have put a slug in your ass. And it just goes to show, what Ghost is, where his passions are. I mean, he just might have just said, I will take a slug if it's from you, because that's how much I feel like Ghost loves his son. He's like, man, we at the end of the road here, and I keep calling you. I keep calling you. I need to talk to you. I need to talk to you. Ghost is so dependent on that relationship. And it's like it might be something that just comes back to hurt him. That's kind of sad. That's kind of sad. Because you know what they say? It's the closest that do the mostest. I mean, I've been in some bad situations myself, so-called partners and whatnot. And man, them is the ones that get you in the end. They're the ones close enough to put the knife in your back. My man, he's got his hands full. He's got his hands full. But Tariq is definitely, he's somebody he has to watch. He's got to watch, and of course, the other guy that he has to watch, I want people to please tell me, do they think that, that this guy is not mad or hurt about what happened to his girl, Keisha? I'm mad, but I know the truth. But Tommy's just now finding out the truth, or so he's saying. He's like, yeah, man, I know you didn't do it, But can you imagine, for all that time, he was sitting there really believing that Ghost killed his girl again? Remember Holly? I mean, let's face it, man. Tommy's kind of a sucker when it comes to the females. You know what I'm saying? I mean, when we say bros before the hoes or whatever, he ain't with that business. He's like, man, that's my girl. That's my girl. And let's face it, that girl she signed the papers. She signed the papers, and she was getting ready to, don't tell me she wasn't getting ready to. They had her boy in the car, Cash. The feds had the boy, and lo and behold, she signs the papers, and ultimately that kind of sealed the deal, because you know what they say about everything in the dark, it comes to the light. And she made a mistake. She said she wouldn't make that mistake that Holly made. You remember? But yes, she did. You made it even worse, because see, Holly was conniving and slipping and sliding and dipping in the bag and, doing all that other type of stuff. But Keisha really wasn't with that type of business. She, in her heart, she did have love for Tommy, but it wasn't to the extent where, like, I'll lay down and ride one out for you, as far as the feds is concerned, because I mean, she had a son. That was the weak point, and when it came down to it, she made a choice. And so ultimately, somebody saw it as a threat. A lot of people saw it as a threat. And so Keisha went away. But Tommy's, he's here. He's a factor. He's a dangerous man. Sometimes I'd be really wondering, like, the way they got it rolled up, can Tommy whoop Ghost or something? Or does Ghost not have a pistol too? Because it's always acting like, okay, Tommy's coming. I don't see it like that. I see it like, man, Ghost he knows how to shoot too. In fact, that shootout at the pier, right near the end there, was kind of a force of a team action on their part, because neither one of them really knew who was shooting at them. And to be honest with you, I didn't even get a chance to see who was shooting at them. You know, that guy that was laying on the ground, I was trying to figure out who the hell that, I couldn't really tell. I wish somebody could tell me who that was on the ground inside the warehouse that evidently Tommy had shot and killed when he ran in there. You know, because I couldn't tell who that was. First I thought, it's like, is that the guy that was working at the building playing the security? I don't know. I need some help with that one. I just still ain't put it together, man. It's just crazy though, but you know, again, Tommy's supposed to be like his brother and all that, and it's sad because you know, and I'm just going to the people that are supposed to be the closest to him, you know, more or less, and again, it's like I said, the people that are the closest is the ones that potentially can do the mostest. And I give you this woman over here, supposed to be his wife, and she rolled through a lot of stuff. You know, she rolled through a lot of stuff, no doubt. I mean, she was, you know, a writer. She put it together for you know, the foundation of what they're doing. You know, that foundation of what they did and what they put together. It was like she was the one that held it together. She was kind of almost like the brains, you know. As a matter of fact, she was. She knew how to watch the money. She knew how to, you know, make sure that, you know, everything, you know, all the I's were dotted and the T's were crossed. But that also put her in a very dangerous position because guess what? As much as she fucking said she don't love ghosts. I mean, you tell me. Did you see the way she looked when Ghost said, I release you? You no longer have to be my wife. You can be Mrs. Tasha, whatever her last name is on TV. And she was like, it looked like she was swallowing some shit. She was like, for real? You're really seriously gonna? Somebody was all in their feelings right then. And that's what made me say, that's the only thing you ain't been keeping it real about. You, and this, as far as this series is concerned, you still love Ghost. And there's no single word. So why would you keep playing like he's not a factor and get to sleeping with all these men and whatnot and get upset when Ghost puts his foot down and says, you can't do that. You can't do that. Yeah, he did some dirty stuff, you know, but and he's trying to protect his enterprise, you know, protect the plates that they set on the table so that they can all keep eating. And she knows that. But yet and still, what does she do? She is ultimately so sour about it in the end. She throws our boy under the bus. Under the bus. She finally becomes what she killed Keisha for. She snitched on Ghost. Now they found Silver all in the trunk of the car, you know, what they call that when your blood coagulates or something, you know, where he looked bad back there. You know what I'm saying? And she led him right to them. You know, I mean, for whatever reason, you know, they can't put it together. You know, it's really intricate, you know, and I like the way the one lead federal guy, you know, is putting it like, look, we can only do so much, you know, without, I mean, we could speculate all we want to, but it's kind of realistic right there. It's like, but what do you have to tie it in? What can you tie it? Where's the evidence? Where's the evidence? I mean, that's the guy that's keeping this whole series apart. I mean, together. It's like, it's okay. It's kind of believable right now. And it's just, it's incredible that they have one person like that, because the other person who they really don't have, and he might as well be like He might as well be a gangster himself. That guy. He's a cold piece. He's such a cold piece. I mean, he done did it all. The man's still running around with the police, and he ain't even the police no more. You talking about obsessed with somebody. He is trying to set up Ghost, and he ain't even the police no more. That tells you something right there. It's like, come on, man. You're going above and beyond. But I see when it came down to it, it's like, now your freedom's on the line. You done went way past the line. You done pushed the line. You're through with money because of what you did. Yeah, you're a gangster too. You done got witnesses killed. You done did all of these little dirty moves, unethical moves, and you are no longer the police. And that's it. And ultimately, the ex superintendent of the task force, who is his attorney now, told him, pack your bags, you getting ready to go to jail. And so that thrust him into the role. I really thought he was going to do it. I don't know what y'all saw. Well, I knew as soon as he started looking funny, like, this guy's about to go kill himself. I mean, that's what, most cops would do if they're caught up and their whole career's through. But no, Fax, being the gangster that he really is, went and grabbed the pistol and was like, I'm about to go murk Ghost. And now we see Fax going down the street, gonna get him some of that Ghost blood, and so now he's a suspect. To me, he's almost like a number one suspect. But of course, this has to have a twist. It has to have a twist. It's so confusing, And I love it. I love that the writers put us on hold like this until January? Yeah, January is when it's coming out. January. Oh my God. Sax got us thinking that he is the guy that did the dirt, but thank God for this lady right here. She made me forget about Keisha. I kept wondering, when is Ramon and Ghost gonna get busy? When they gonna get busy? I just seen it coming. I seen it from day one when she showed up. I'm like, man, if I was Ghost, it was at a point in the series where I was like, man, your son's tripping, Tasha's tripping, everybody's tripping and don't want nothing to do with you. Why don't you do exactly what they had wrote you out in the end and say, nobody's gonna get in my way. I'm going to run for office and I'm through with this life. And lo and behold, here comes this little angel out the sky, Ramona. And it's like, man, there's your ride. There's your car has arrived. Your Uber has arrived. Get in the car with her and get somewhere. Because not only is she fine and seems to be pretty loyal, she's putting you in positions and places and talking with faces of power and all of that stuff. She's making moves happen, for every strong man, there has to be a strong woman. And this is it. This is her. She's making him forget all about Tasha, all that. And it's tough. It's tough for Tasha to see that, but it is what it is. Upgrade, Ghost. Get your upgrade on. Hopefully you'll survive that fall off the balcony. I'm not sure. Everybody's holding their breath about it. It's really, really something, but I just feel like, really let's talk about Dre. I think I forgot to get a picture of Dre. I wanted to get a picture of Dre because he's something else. Ghost punked him so bad. He said, basically, you're a bitch and you're going to keep being a bitch. You're going to keep being my bitch because you need me. I'm like, woo. And Dre just had to sit there and basically take it. And I'm like, damn, Dre, you went for that? Okay. Well, man, here's my fast handiwork. I got Dre in the flesh standing next to Ghost. Here we go. I'm getting pretty good at this shit, you know what I'm saying? I was telling a couple of people I've been reaching out to, man, I got a lot of time on my hand, you know, because I do have some resources put away that's allowing me to stretch out to this home team network. Obviously, I think I need to get a wire for my microphone, but it's gonna happen, and just really concentrate on this media production, because there he is. Oh, this way. There's Dre right there, that fast, and Dre's part. This motherfucker here. Oh my God. He's like, they'll not call him Dre. They'll call Dre Felix the Cat. Because this motherfucker definitely got 9 lives. I mean, 9 lives. How many times have we seen him squirm up out of this, squirm up out of that, talk to the peoples for this, got up out of jail for that? I mean, this boy gets out of jail with the quickness and is back on his feet, back on the block, and getting he's about to get a jug from Ghost for 250 grand. That kind of, to me, that kind of eliminates him as a suspect, because he was about to get 250 bands from Ghost so he can go do his thing. Basically, I guess he was getting ready to make some moves and get somewhere and all that. And I mean, to me, that kind of eliminates him. You know, what do you think? Tell me about that. You know, what do you think? I mean, I think with him, it's like, well, we need to think about, we know he wants to be Ghost. You know, does he have it in him? Boy, definitely ain't scared to pull the trigger. I done seen him do a whole lot of business, and he got some fucked up ways, you know. But to be honest with you, if you ain't been paying attention, Ghost is starting to get them same ways. You know, like calling the people, setting motherfuckers up with the peoples. I mean, that's is that snitching? Is that being a cooperating witness? You know, sending people's. You know, every time something happens, he's sending the people on Dre, and it's like, yeah, Dre got some reasons to want to, you know, get at Ghost, but them 250 bands and probably more later, it's like, maybe I'll keep this cash cow around. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of backing off of Dre as being, you know, the guy. You know, I don't think he's a protagonist of what's going on. I think he is not a factor. So Dre's out of here. I think he's got better things to do, like get his ass somewhere where he can stay alive, and hopefully he can figure out how to get some money, you know. But, you know, I'm like, I like I like good writing. I used to read a lot, you know. I was some places where that's all you can do is read. You know what I mean? Those of you who've been there know what I'm talking about. So, you know, I'm like, you know, when I see the way that the writers have put this together, you know, one thing is true and holds true is everybody loves a good mystery. A good mystery. And that's what this is turning into. And I'm glad that they did that, you know, because at some points it was getting to be a little bit of supernatural with all the ghosts, real ghosts checking in, his daughter, you know, Kanan, you know, and just him talking to Angela all the time is like, this is getting like borderline supernatural type shit. And like, but now it then twisted its way back into a mystery. And man, we got about 2 months to think about who the hell shot Ghost. I mean, it's a good ass question. If you follow it like I do, then you know what I'm saying. And I want you guys to go ahead and leave your comments and whatnot in the comment box. Give us some ideas. We're gonna tune back in with this, you know, a little bit later and touch bases with it Power Book 2 is what's supposed to be on the horizon. And that's a good thing. We don't quite know where Stars is going to land yet. And what I wish 50 all the luck in the world. What's wrong with a man coming from where he came from the dirt, to put in all this work? You know what I'm saying? Just to have, just a little some politic going on that got one of his jewel works put on the shelf. Right in the middle of when he's getting ready to do another production. Which is you know, right around the corner. It's gonna be released soon too. But I'm sure that this show here, Power, was going to be the launch pad for that thing. You guys know which one I'm talking about, Meech and the family over there. That was gonna be the springboard, Power, the springboard for that. And I wish him all the success in the world. We need more people in the business, opening up doors, for black actors, black music, black culture, black, everything. And not just black, but as you could see within Power, so many different races and observation, and cultures being mixed in together. That's the beauty of Power. There's work going on. There's a lot of people coming together and making this a very nice thing to watch. So with that said, again, subscribe, like, comment. Hey man, and I will